What does a single date on the calendar really mean? For so many of us, September 12th is impossible to separate from the day before it. It's forever the day after, a day of picking up the pieces. But what if I told you that's only one of its stories? Let's dive into this.
This was a real question posted on Reddit from someone trying to make sense of September 12, 2001. And wow, it just cuts right to the heart of the chaos, doesn't it? For thousands of people whose entire world had literally collapsed, the first most terrifying question wasn't about geopolitics, it was about survival.
So for the world of finance, September 12th was just this frantic scramble. The New York Stock Exchange was closed, which gave everyone a little breathing room, but the clock was ticking. Big companies immediately hit the button on disaster plans they'd made after the '93 bombing. And here's a stunning example of just brutal resilience. Cantor Fitzgerald, a company that lost 658 employees, just think about that number, was back to trading treasuries within 2 days. They just rerouted everything through their offices in Europe, an absolutely incredible feat born from an unimaginable tragedy.
And here's the crucial point. Your fate on that day really depended on who signed your paycheck. It's that simple. If you worked for a huge firm like Morgan Stanley, you were probably relocated. But if you worked for a small import-export company, your business might have just ceased to exist overnight. And for the service workers, the people in the shops and restaurants in that underground mall, their jobs were just gone. 3 completely different realities, all buried under the same pile of rubble. And that day, it really solidified a whole new reality for everyone. As Susan Rice from the Brookings Institution put it, it became crystal clear that the country was about to start a new, long-term conflict. The immediate, personal chaos in New York quickly scaled up into this global shift in security and policy that would basically define the next 20 years.
But here's where the story of September 12th takes a turn. It's not just about looking down at destruction. It's also, remarkably, been a day for looking up, a day of incredible hope and ambition.
On a completely different September 12th, back in 1962, these were the words that just captured the imagination of an entire nation. Talk about a different vibe. Instead of a response to fear, this was a call to do the impossible, a unifying mission that really defined a generation's sense of purpose.
And it's wild. You see this date woven right into the fabric of space exploration. In 1959, the Soviets launched Luna 2, the very first human-made thing to actually touch the moon. Then you've got Kennedy's speech in '62. And then, 30 years later to the day, September 12, 1992, Dr. Mae Jemison just shatters barriers, heading into orbit aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour.
Okay, so beyond these huge, sweeping narratives of conflict and exploration, September 12th is also just a day, right? A day where life, in all its strange and wonderful ways, just happens.
Okay, I'm just going to throw a number at you. 17,000. What could that possibly mean? Well, it takes us way, way back.
17,000 years. On September 12, 1940, a group of kids and their dog stumbled into a cave in France and discovered one of the greatest artistic treasures in human history. It's just an incredible reminder that on any random day, a piece of our most ancient past can suddenly reappear completely by accident. And then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, September 12th is a day to celebrate, well, a lot of things. It's National Chocolate Milkshake Day. It's also National Video Games Day. And it's the National Day of Encouragement. It's this beautiful, chaotic mix of everyday joys that really make up the texture of our lives.
And get this, it's also the birthday of some giants who shaped our culture. Think about it. Yao Ming, who basically built a bridge between continents through basketball, and Hans Zimmer, the guy who created the musical scores for our collective dreams and adventures. They both share this exact same birthday.
But the history of September 12th isn't finished. In fact, a very recent event added a new, profound, and frankly, pretty alarming chapter to its story. This was a warning not from us, but from the planet itself. So, this mystery kicked off on September 12th, 2023. It started with a signal so strange that at first, scientists had no idea what they were even looking at. 9 days. For 9 straight days, the entire Earth vibrated. And not from an earthquake. It was something else entirely.
Yeah, earthquake sensors all over the globe started picking up this weird, long-lasting signal. It was so unusual they actually classified it as a USO, an unidentified seismic object. It was a genuine scientific puzzle that had researchers completely baffled.
The source was finally traced to a remote fjord in Greenland. A 1,200-meter peak, that's almost 4,000 feet, had its base destabilized by a melting glacier, and it just collapsed into the water. This triggered a 200-meter-high mega tsunami, the first one ever recorded in East Greenland. It was the sloshing of that immense body of water back and forth in the fjord that made our entire planet ring like a bell for 9 solid days.
And as a landslide expert, Professor Anne Mangini put it, this event was a direct, tangible consequence of climate change that had a planetary scale impact. The vibrations got from Greenland all the way to Antarctica in under an hour. That is a stark message from a rapidly changing world, now written into the history of September 12th.
So, what do we have? We have aftermath and rebuilding. We have these aspirational leaps into the cosmos. We have ancient discoveries in chocolate milkshakes. We have new planetary warnings. A single day contains all of this, and it forces us to ask, what stories do we choose to tell, and which ones just fade away?
So in researching all this, we found an article from a U.S. embassy with what seemed like the perfect title, Why September 12 Matters So Much. We thought, okay, this is going to perfectly sum up one of the day's biggest narratives.
But when you click the link today, this is what you get. An error. Exception. Forbidden. And that error message, in a weird way, it says it all. History isn't some clean, complete record. It's full of broken links and missing pieces and stories we just can't access anymore. The full meaning is something we're always piecing together.
It really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? We are living through the events that are going to become the historical footnotes of the future. The question is, which of our stories will survive, and what will they say about us?